We just returned from what we heard was going to be the worst cruise in the history of cruises. Breezy Travels review of the MSC Seashore coming up. Our family just got back from a 7-day Western Caribbean cruise out of Port Canaveral on the MSC Seashore, and we, like you, had heard a lot of negative things about MSC and specifically the Seashore. We'd seen reviews talking about that it would be the worst cruise that you could possibly ever take. We saw reviews that said it was a one and done, never before, never again will we do MSC. We saw reviews that said stay away from MSC, even if it were free, they would not go. And one person just said simply, do not book. Well, we're going to tell you what we thought about the MSC Seashore, try to give you our very honest opinion of it, the hits and misses of what it was. Hey, would you do me a favor though? Would you take a second, like and subscribe to this channel? We want to give you the very best information we can about how to make your travel plans better and easy here with Breezy. So let me give you our hits and misses with the cruise, because every vacation will have pros and will have cons. So our hits and misses. One, let me tell you this. We had heard nightmares about getting on the ship and getting off the ship, embarkation, disembarkation. For us, we didn't have any issues with that. From the time we got into the cruise terminal to the time we were on the ship was around 30 minutes. That is very respectable. Getting off the ship as well, we did self-debarkation, which means we carry our own luggage off the ship. If you're able to do that, I always encourage you to do that. We were off the ship in around 30, 45 minutes from the time we got out of our cabin to the time that we were in the room, in our car on the way home. That's very respectable. Now, I will tell you, if you do it, be prepared. The line is incredibly long, but it moves very, very quickly. The wow factor. I love when you walk onto a cruise ship and you kind of get that wow factor, and MSC certainly has that. The ship is beautiful, it is clean, it is modern, it looks very, very cool. They just have a lot of really nice areas and spaces that really set it off. The clientele. We enjoyed the clientele. The fact that there were almost as many non-Americans as there were Americans on the ship, that was a very, very cool thing. We actually kind of played a game at the buffet where you would try to hear how many different languages are being spoken around you. You could hear French and German and folks speaking Spanish. That's a really cool thing. The vibe on the ship was awesome. Now, MSC is not a party boat like you might find with Carnival, but it is a very good vibe on the ship. A lot of energy, a lot of excitement. Really a good vibe. The staff. I had read so many reviews and even seen videos of people talking about how bad the staff was, how they were rude and uncaring and didn't serve. We didn't see that, certainly didn't experience that on our cruise. We found everyone to be most everyone to be very friendly, to be very effective, to be very enthusiastic in their jobs. I thoroughly enjoyed the staff, and I will tell you that from all the cruises we've done with other cruise lines, from Carnival to Princess to Royal to you name it, Norwegian, I think the quality of service we received on board MSC was certainly on par with all of those. The layout. I thought the layout of the ship. Now, we were on a full sailing, and the ship never felt overly crowded. Now, if you've ever been on a cruise ship, you know there's going to be times when there's always a crowd. But I will say that on this one, we never had issues finding a table, say, in the buffet for our group, and there were 7 of us. We never had issues finding a seat in the main theaters. Now, if you show up late, you're going to have a problem, but we could always find seating, and most of the time it was very good seats right up front. It never felt overly crowded. So we thoroughly enjoyed the layout of the ship. I will say for me, it was a difficult, I don't know why for me, but finding my way around the ship, I still found myself, even after 4, 5, 6 days on the ship, still getting turned around a little bit on board the boat. The entertainment, speaking of entertainment. Now, the entertainment in the theater was very, very good. And they actually did 5 main theater shows, as well as a guest entertainer, a couple of guest entertainers. So there were shows in the theater every night. That's getting to be more and more rare on cruise ships today. The quality of the singers and the dancers was very, very good. Now, I'll be honest with you, that's not necessarily my style, Broadway musicals and just musicals in general, but my wife, she loves that. We went to one show which was a Broadway sort of musical themed show. Very, very good. Again, singers and dancers, everything on that, I thought they were on par with, say, Carnival. Now, I would say that you're not going to see the same level, the same elaborate sets as you would, say, like on a Royal Caribbean or Norwegian, but for what it was very, very good. I would say that like the singers and those who performed in the bars, the lounges, and the atrium areas, they were very, very good. They had a great mix styles that you could enjoy. That was really, really good. The cleanliness of the ship. The ship was very clean. I'd heard some reviews, people talking about how bad the ship was. It wasn't maintained or it wasn't clean. We didn't see that. The ship was spotless. Everywhere you looked, people were always cleaning. This is kind of on that same vein, but a little bit different. But we thoroughly enjoyed the casino. That the casino was non-smoking. You could go in, enjoy some time in the casino if that's your thing, and you didn't come out smelling like smoke. Now they do have, for those of you that are smokers, they do have a separate, smaller casino area. There's no table games, just the machines, but that's a separate area, completely separate. It's off the sports bar, actually. That was actually a really good spot, and it was actually unusual to be able to walk around the ship, and I don't know that I can't think of a time that we smelled smoke anywhere on the interior of the ship, which was really, really nice. The specialty dining. We had 3 different specialty dining nights where we went to the different restaurants. We ate at the teppanyaki. Very, very good. The steakhouse was excellent. And they have a taco or a Mexican restaurant called Hola Tacos. Very, very good food. All of those were very good to excellent, we thought, and very good value, especially if you buy those before you get on board the ship. Speaking of food, the pizza. Now, MSC is a Mediterranean, it's an Italian cruise line. I'm pretty sure they'd probably get kicked out of the pizza mafia if they didn't have good pizza. The pizza in the buffet was excellent, probably the best pizza that we've ever had on a cruise ship. And then this isn't the ship, but I will tell you that Ocean Cay, their private island, is amazing. Now, it's not an amusement park. You're not going to find water slides or hot air balloons or anything crazy like that, but it does feel like it's your own sort of private island, your own private personal space. It was phenomenal. We all thoroughly enjoyed Ocean Cay. Now let me talk about the misses, because there are some and they are pretty big. One, the main dining room. I'm going to tell you that the food in the main dining room was probably below average. Now, if you've been on cruises, some of you that may have cruised before, you probably know that dining in most ships, especially the free dining, especially since COVID has gone downhill, this is subpar even to that. It's edible, but I would not call it great. Now, the service in the dining room was very, very good. Just, again, read some reviews talking about how long dinner services were. Dinner service for us was an hour and a half, and most of that was because we just enjoyed having conversation and sitting around the table. It really was not that long for us to have dinner. The buffet, that was our big thing. The buffet is really about your only option for breakfast and for lunch. They don't have other venues around. Now, you can go, on certain days, you can go to some of the specialty dining restaurants for lunch, but by and large, it is the buffet or the main dining for an hour or so for breakfast and lunch, only for those times. And our biggest issue was not the variety of food. There seemed to be a decent variety. The biggest issue was just the temperature of the food. We could not get food hot. And that was a big issue for us, especially at breakfast. Lunch was a little bit better, but man, I'm telling you, breakfast was a struggle for sure. So that was a big one. The bathroom. Now, if you've done any research, you've probably heard this before, but I've got to tell you, I'm not sure who they designed the bathrooms for. I'm pretty sure if you're taller than a hobbit or a dwarf, it is not made for you. Cruise ship bathrooms are small in general, but this is the smallest bathroom I think I have ever been in. The toilet is set at you can't sit straight. If you're taller than 3 feet, you can't sit straight on the toilet. You have to sit at an angle, otherwise your knees are going to bump up against the vanity. And don't even get me started about the shower. You kind of have to open the door if you're going to bend over and do anything in there or try to wash yourself. It's really, really small. And this activities, that's the other thing I would say. Because they have so many different languages being spoken on board the ship, they have so many different nationalities, it's difficult throughout the day, I think, to do some of those, again, if you're a cruiser, some of those traditional cruise activities, because they have so many different languages and different cultures that are being represented. So some of the activities throughout the day were a little bit sparse or maybe even a bit repetitive, we found that to be. This is not the ship, but I do want to mention this. The refund policy, we had a situation where even though I'm a travel agent, there was a glitch in the system when I booked our daughter's rooms, and it double booked. It charged our credit card twice, and it took 90 days for that refund to show back. Even though I reached out to them the very next day when I saw that it was double booked on our card, it took 90 days. So in essence, I loaned MSC money for, 90 days, and that's their policy. If you look, they'll tell you it's going to take 60 to 90 days. So not a big fan of that. That was kind of a bummer. So let me answer the question some of you may be asking. Would we sail MSC again? And I would say without a doubt, yes, we would, for the value. If you understand and go in understanding that MSC is a budget line, it is a value line. It's not a luxury line. I don't even necessarily know if I'd put it in with like a main line just yet. I wouldn't put it up against a Royal Caribbean or a Norwegian, certainly not Celebrity, Princess, anything like that. But if you go in understanding the value, and it is an incredible, incredible value for what it is. I did some comparisons, and really I think the biggest competitor for MSC is going to be Carnival. And Carnival has, I just checked this for next year, in February of next year, same itineraries, around the same time of the same date sailing, going out the same port on the Seashore, the ship that we were on, versus the Carnival Venezia. There's about a $600 difference on that. So it's a much, much better value, again, if you know that going in. So really for the value, it's great. Who would this be for? Well, I think it's great for first timers. If you've never cruised before, this would be a great way for you to jump in and see if cruising's for you. In our group of 7, we had one first timer, and they were blown away with the ship and all the activities and everything else. It was great to see that. So for first timers, you've never cruised before, this may be a great way for you to jump in and see if it's for you. 2, if you're more of a laid-back cruiser, we're not really high maintenance when it comes to that, but if you're just somebody that wants to find a great spot to watch the ocean go by, maybe read a book throughout the day, enjoy some food, again, not great food, but some food and some good drinks, and just enjoy each other's company, a great thing. Now, again, there's entertainment and whatnot, but it's not nearly the same level as you would find even on like Carnival throughout the day, Royal Caribbean, some of the other main lines. For families, it is a great opportunity for families. They've got great children's spaces. They've got an enclosed pool area, some really nice areas there. Water slides, which by the way are a blast. I did some of those. Lots of fun with that. They even have small ones for the younger children to be able to participate in as well. So it's great for families. And then lastly, of course, for the value shopper. If you're looking for a great value, I cannot tell you, I think MSC would be a great spot for you to try. Prime example, with the cruise we just got back on, we had folks in our group that did basic interior guarantees, and for 7 days, for 2 people, it was around $1,000. I don't know that you can find a value like that anywhere else. So let me know your thoughts. Share your comments. Share your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think about MSC or about cruising in general. And as always, if I can help you with your cruising or any sort of vacation plans, reach out to us at Breezy Travels, because we always say we make it easy at Breezy. Let us know when we can help. Have a great one.